Linda stood in front of the mirror, carefully adjusting her wig and smoothing her dress. She took a deep breath, trying to steady her thoughts. From the hallway, a gentle voice called out, "Madam Linda." "Breakfast is ready," Kate said. Linda walked slowly into the dining area. The table was neatly arranged, warm food waiting, but the large room felt empty. She sat down alone and began to eat quietly, her movements slow and thoughtful. Every sound in the house seemed louder than usual. From the hallway, Kate paused, watching Linda silently before returning to her duties. Moments later, the sound of footsteps echoed. Philip walked in, fully dressed for work, briefcase in hand. He stopped when he saw Linda. "You look good, Linda," he said calmly. "Very presentable." Linda lifted her eyes, a small nod escaping her lips. Philip walked closer and spoke again, his voice firm but controlled. "My family will be arriving from overseas next weekend." Linda's hands froze slightly on the table. Philip continued, "I hope you've been studying the book I gave you." She swallowed and nodded. "Yes, I have. I'm ready." Philip studied her face for a moment. "Good," he said. "Because once they arrive, there must be no mistakes. Our answers must always match." He picked up his briefcase and turned toward the door. Kate stood nearby, watching quietly, her expression unreadable. As Philip walked out, the house fell silent again. Linda slowly pushed her plate aside. Her eyes drifted back to the empty seat across from her. She realized then, this arrangement was no longer temporary. Linda and Kate moved around the kitchen together, chopping vegetables, stirring sauces, and arranging dishes. The morning sunlight streamed through the large windows, making the room feel warm and alive. Kate smiled as she glanced at Linda. "Madam Linda, my boss is really kind, and his family, they're wonderful too. He has 2 siblings, a brother named Michael and a baby sister, Judith. You'll get along with them nicely." Linda listened, feeling a little more at ease. Kate continued, her tone gentle and encouraging. "Madam Linda, you've been doing well so far. Don't worry, you'll fit right in when my boss's family comes." They laughed softly as they worked, the kitchen filled with the comforting sounds of cooking. Linda began to feel a sense of connection, not just with Kate, but with the home itself. Just then, the door opened. Philip walked in, fully dressed, his expression calm but serious. "Linda, I want you to get ready for our date this evening," he said. "It's a little test, to see how well you've studied the book I gave you. You'll need to answer a few questions along the way." Linda's heart skipped a beat, but she nodded confidently. "Yes, Philip. I'll be ready." That evening, they sat across from each other in a quiet, softly lit cafe. Philip looked at her calmly. "Let's begin," he said gently. "Why do we eat the way we do at home?" Linda recalled the notes from the book, her hands resting lightly on the table. "We eat to honor family traditions, to show respect, and to maintain harmony in the household," she answered confidently. Philip nodded, a faint smile appearing. "Good. And if my sister Judith asks you about me, what would you say?" Linda paused for a moment, then answered with steady composure. "I would tell her the truth, that I respect him and our relationship, and I'm learning to understand his family fully." Philip's eyes softened slightly, clearly pleased with her answers. "Very well, Linda. You're ready for what's coming." They left the cafe. Walking together, Linda held the notebook tightly, her mind racing with everything she had learned, everything she still needed to remember. She was ready, confident, alert, and aware of the days ahead. Philip sat on his bed, the city lights casting a soft glow through the window. He leaned back, fingers brushing the edge of the bedside table, replaying the evening in his mind. "Linda, she's a fast learner. Confident, smart, handled everything perfectly," he whispered, a faint smile forming. "And there's something about her. Her smile, the way she talks. I might actually be starting to like her more than I expected." He chuckled quietly to himself, shaking his head. "No, I can't let myself think too much. But she really impressed me tonight." Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Kate and Linda were sitting together, laughing softly as they talked about the date. The mood was light, filled with giggles and shared excitement. Linda's cheeks flushed slightly every time she remembered Philip's compliments and the way he had looked at her. "You know, Madam Linda," Kate said with a grin, leaning in, "I think you should marry my boss for real. He's a good man, Madam Linda, and you have something special too." He would see that. Linda's heart skipped. She smiled, but her thoughts drifted, distant and thoughtful. Kate had no idea about her life outside this house. The responsibilities? The past, the son she carried in her heart. Madam Linda, Kate continued, her tone playful but firm, just be yourself. Don't hide anything. Make sure you tell him everything about you. No secrets, Madam Linda. He deserves to know who you really are. Linda nodded slowly, taking in Kate's words. I don't know if I can, she whispered softly, though a tiny spark of hope had begun to flicker inside her. Later that night, in the quiet of her room, Linda lay on her bed, staring at the ceiling. The room was dim except for the faint glow of the streetlights outside. She replayed Kate's words and the memories of the date, letting them swirl in her mind. How could it work? He doesn't even know me. He doesn't know I have a son, she whispered to herself, hugging the blanket close. But underneath the worry, a tiny spark of hope refused to die out. She thought of Philip's smile, the way he had looked at her tonight, the calm confidence in his voice. Maybe it could work, she murmured, a faint, hesitant smile spreading across her face. The night wrapped around her, quiet but full of anticipation. Tomorrow was another day, another chance for Madame Linda and Philip's story to continue. And maybe, just maybe, things were beginning to change.
For more interesting stories like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Our Love Stories by Giba Masola.